1983, a family went from New Delhi to America. The father was a pharmacist. They thought they would have a new life in America. But when they arrived there, they found out that their Indian pharmacy degree was not accepted in America. The education, the qualification, the identity, all useless. So they did not become a pharmacist. They started working in a hardware store. Then they left the family. There was a 9-year-old child named Naval. In an unsafe neighborhood of New York, there was a mother, 2 children, and no support. The only refuge for that child was the library. After coming back from school, Naval would go straight to the library. He would stay there until the library closed. Then he would go home. This was his daily routine, not because he loved reading, but because the neighborhood was so dangerous that staying outside wasn't safe. The library was a refuge, a place where he was safe. The books he read in that library became his real friends. Later, he himself said, "Books were my best friends because the greatest thinkers of thousands of years were freely giving me their wisdom." That child is now an investor worth more than $2 billion. He has invested in Uber, Twitter, and more than 200 companies. The name of that child is Naval Ravikant. But wait, this was not a straight line to success. In 1999, Naval founded a company, Epinions, consumer review website, and thus Anta Panlavana Nekireti. They raised $45 billion. The company grew, and then in 2003, it merged with another company. It became Shopping.com. In 2004, Shopping.com had its IPO. The venture capitalists made millions, the co-founder made millions. Naval Ravikant got zero. The company he had created, the idea that was his, for which he had left a $4 million job, his shares were made worthless in its IPO. He filed a lawsuit and then rose again. This is the story of every person who has been betrayed by someone. And what Naval learned from it is the real essence of this book, the Almanack of Naval Ravikant. This book was not written by Naval, it was written by Eric Jorgenson by collecting Naval's 10 years of tweets, podcasts, and interviews. Naval does not earn a single rupee from this. This book is freely available on navalmanac.com. Tim Ferriss, who never writes a foreword for any book, wrote the foreword for this book. Because they felt these ideas are so valuable that the world should get them for free. Today, we will take 5 such ideas from them that are the most powerful in the context of India. The ideas that most summaries skip. The first idea, and this is the foundation of the entire book. Naval says wealth and money. These two are not the same. Money is what you earn. Wealth is what works for you without you working. Their exact definition is wealth is assets that earn while you sleep. Wealth means property that pays rent, investments that grow, businesses that run without your presence, content that reaches repeatedly. In India, we are all behind money. Salary, bonus, increment. But Naval says money is a trap if it only comes in exchange for your time, because your time is limited. The day you can't work, money stops. Wealth means creating a system that operates without you. This is the true definition of financial freedom. The second idea, which is most important in India's competitive job market, is what Naval calls specific knowledge. This is the skill that only you have, that no one else can replicate. It comes from your personality, your curiosity, your unique experiences. There is a line from Naval that I always remember. No one can compete with you on being used. In India, we are all in the same race. Same engineering colleges, same MBA programs, same job applications, same skills. And then we wonder why there is so much competition, why are salaries so low. That's because a skill that is easily taught is easily replaced. The market keeps its value low. A skill that is genuinely yours, that comes from your obsession, your unique background, your lived experience, has no competition. Let's understand specific knowledge in the context of India. A doctor who also understands psychology is not just a doctor. An engineer who knows storytelling is not just an engineer. A teacher who also knows data analysis is not just a teacher. This combination is specific knowledge. And Naval says, this combination comes from your genuine curiosity, not obligation. The work you can do even at 2 in the morning without getting tired. The work that seems interesting to you even on vacation. That is your specific knowledge, and that is your highest value work. Ask yourself this question tonight. What is the work I do so naturally that it doesn't even feel special to me, but others find it difficult? That's where your specific knowledge is hidden. The third idea, and this is the most important secret to creating wealth in the 21st century. Naval calls it leverage. Leverage means doing one task and its result multiplies. Your effort is one, but the output is many times more. Naval describes 4 types of leverage. The first 2 are labor and capital. Hire people or make money with money. This is powerful. But you need permission for these. Someone needs to hire you or someone needs to invest in you. But the third and fourth, code and media. These are permissionless leverage. A programmer who creates an app works once. But that app reaches 1 million people. A YouTuber who makes a video puts in effort once. But that video reaches people for years. No permission is needed for this. No boss, no investor. Just your skill and your time. In India, this idea is the most powerful in this decade. In 2026, there are more than 650 million internet users in India. The demand for Hindi content is much higher than for English content. But there are very few quality Hindi content creators. Naval said, if you can't code, write books, record videos, make podcasts. A teacher who shares their knowledge on YouTube can go from a salary of 30,000 rupees to 3 lakh rupees a month. A CA who gives tax advice in simple Hindi can reach lakhs. A doctor who busts health myths can have an audience in crores. This is not an overnight success, but it is permissionless. You don't need anyone's permission. You don't need anyone's approval. Just start. The fourth idea, and this is most relevant in India's relationship-based culture. Naval says, play long-term games with long-term people. His observation is that all returns in life, whether wealth, relationships, or knowledge, compound. And compounding only works when you play the long game. Short-term players, they try to take a little more in every transaction, they cut corners. They see their advantage and appear to benefit in the short term. But in 10 years, those who built long-term relationships, who added value in every interaction, who seriously protected their reputation, surpass every short-term player. Naval gives a simple test before every collaboration. Ask, is this person playing the long-term game? If yes, invest. If not, move on. The most powerful example of this is in India. Those people whose reputation is so strong that clients come looking for them. A chartered accountant who has always been honest for 20 years, who never gave wrong advice to a client, never took shortcuts. He gets referrals without marketing. His reputation is his biggest asset. But someone who compromised once to earn a little more in the short term, it takes years to repair their reputation. Naval has a line. Your reputation is a summary of how much people trust you. It's built in drops and lost in buckets. Reputation is built in drops. One honest interaction, one kept promise, one transparent conversation repeatedly, and lost in buckets in one big betrayal. The fifth idea, and this is the most underrated. Most summaries wrap it up in one line. Naval says, happiness is a skill. Hearing this, it seems like just a motivational quote. But wait, Naval's exact point is that happiness is not an external achievement. It is an internal state that you can deliberately practice. Just like playing the guitar is a skill that comes with practice, Happiness is also a skill that comes with practice. He defines it as happiness is what's there when you remove the sense that something is missing in your life. This definition is very powerful because it says happiness arrives when wanting goes away. And wanting does not end when you get what you wanted. It immediately finds the next thing. This trap is very familiar in India. When IIT is done, peace will come. IIT happens, peace does not come. When you get this and you get a job, there will be a peace. You get a job, then you want a promotion. When you get married, life will settle. You get married, then you want children. When you get a flat, you will be happy. When you get a flat, then you want a bigger flat. This is the treadmill of wanting. And Naval says the way to get off this treadmill is to deliberately practice living in the present moment. Notice that fundamentally everything is fine in this moment. He took meditation seriously himself, removed social media from his phone, stopped watching the news, not because he was weak, but because he realized that the things disturbing his peace had no real value. A bonus idea about Naval that is least talked about. One of the most underrated reasons for Naval's success is his reading. He reads for 1 to 2 hours every day, and his reading philosophy is completely different from everyone else's. He doesn't read to finish a book. If a book seems boring, he stops. If a page isn't interesting, he skips it. No guilt, no obligation, they say. Instead of reading 1,000 books, read the 100 best books 10 times. Not quantity, but depth. Not breadth, but absorption. And they specifically recommend science, mathematics, philosophy, the foundations. The knowledge that comes from these subjects applies to every other domain. Naval's library was his MBA. In that library, a 9-year-old child in an unsafe neighborhood in New York received the education that later became $2 billion. Now an honest thing, the books always do. This book is powerful, but it is important to understand its context. Naval is in Silicon Valley. The leverage he talks about, code and media, requires a certain privilege: internet access, time, safety net. In India, the first-generation professionals who have household responsibilities and do not have a safety net, for them, the advice to quit your job and build leverage simply does not work. Additionally, Naval's happiness philosophy is very stoic. This is challenging for those who are facing genuine systemic challenges. Saying happiness is a choice comes from privilege, but Naval's core mental models, specific knowledge, long-term thinking, permissionless leverage, these are universal. Apply them in your context, don't copy verbatim. Let's return to that 9-year-old child whose father had left, whose mother worked 2 jobs and went to school at night, who used to hide in the library in an unsafe neighborhood because it wasn't safe to go outside. A journalist asked Naval, "What if your parents lived in India?" Naval paused. Then he said, "Maybe I would have lived a middle-class Indian life, and maybe that would have been fine too." This is humility. This is honesty. This is about the person who left a $4 million job, started a company, was betrayed, got $0, then rose again and created AngelList. Naval never says that he has a success formula. He says, "I got lucky, but I also worked hard." Don't attribute my success to luck alone, and don't attribute it to hard work alone either. Tonight, take a piece of paper and write this down. That one thing I do so naturally that I don't feel it's special, but others find it difficult. Just one. Think. Right. This is the seed of your specific knowledge. Naval's entire framework starts from here. You found specific knowledge, then find leverage. Once you have leverage, play the long-term game. And whatever you do, don't make happiness the destination, make it a practice. There is a line from Naval that personally affects me a lot. He said, "All the returns in life, whether in wealth, relationships, or knowledge, come from compound interest." Compound interest. How small things become big over time. That child who used to read books in the library, his knowledge kept compounding. He is coming. His thinking kept compounding. His reputation kept compounding. $2 billion were not made in one day. It was the compound interest of every hour in that library. The Almanack of Naval Ravikant. It is freely available on navalmanac.com. Naval does not earn a single rupee. The link to the physical copy is in the description. Subscribe to Kitabish. If even one idea from this video seemed useful, like it, share it. One book every week without fluff, without sugarcoating. The next video will be on man's search for meaning. Viktor Frankl's book that he wrote in 9 days after surviving 3 years in the Auschwitz concentration camp. There is an idea in that book that literally makes the difference between life and death. See you in the next video. I am Amit Kalkande. Lakta dito kakraita. This was Kitabish.